Raymond Tucker wasn't the kind of man you noticed when he walked into a room. He never demanded attention, never raised his voice, and never sought praise. But if you ever needed a tire changed on the side of a rainy road, or someone to fix your engine when you couldn't afford it, Raymond would be there, wiping his hands on a dirty blue rag, his faded cap tilted low over weary eyes, and a warm, quiet nod that said, "I got you." For 3 decades, he gave his life to the same small-town garage in rural Georgia. Not just his hours, not just his sweat, but his soul. And when that garage changed hands and the world moved on without him, Raymond was left standing beneath the flickering fluorescent lights, clutching the past like a rusted wrench that no longer fit the bolts of the present. Right finger if you believe in kindness, second chances, and honoring the people who give their hearts to others. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps stories like Raymond's live on. Raymond started at Weller's Auto when he was just 22, fresh out of trade school, skinny as a flagpole and hungry for work. The old owner, Hank Weller, had run the place like a father runs a family farm, tough but fair, with deep pride in doing honest work. Raymond fit right in. He showed up early, stayed late, and never once complained about oil burns, busted knuckles, or freezing cold mornings. The other guys used to joke he had gasoline in his veins and brake fluid in his coffee mug. But beneath the grease and grit, Raymond had a quiet ache that few knew about. He'd lost his father in a factory accident when he was only 10, and his mother worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. Raymond grew up learning to fix what was broken because no one else would. That's how he saw the world, not in terms of status or money, but in what could be saved. And for him, that garage became home. Years passed, coworkers came and went, some left for bigger paychecks or moved away. Raymond stayed. He never married, never had kids. Some said he was married to the garage, and in a way, they were right. He treated every car like it belonged to family. Single moms, old veterans, struggling college kids, he always found a way to help. Sometimes he fixed cars for free. Sometimes he paid for parts out of his own pocket. But he never told anyone. That wasn't his style. By the time he was 52, Raymond was the soul of Weller's Auto. Locals knew him by name, kids waved when he passed by, and even the mayor once said, "Raymond Tucker's the kind of man this town was built on." But time, like rust, creeps in slowly. Hank Weller passed away one winter, and his son sold the garage to a corporate chain looking to modernize the business. They brought in a new manager from out of town, slick haircut, MBA, and no idea how to hold a socket wrench. Within weeks, things began to change. They installed glossy waiting areas, digital screens, and started pushing upsells. Mechanics were told to recommend new parts whether customers needed them or not. Raymond didn't adapt well. He refused to push unnecessary services, refused to lie to people who trusted him. He started getting written up for low sales performance, a term that made him want to throw his wrench across the lot. But he didn't. He just kept working, kept showing up, kept believing that integrity still mattered. One evening, just after closing, Raymond found a note in his locker. Final warning, failure to meet performance expectations. No conversation, no appreciation for his 30 years. Just a cold slip of paper. He sat there for a long time, hands trembling slightly, staring at the walls he'd known for half his life. He could feel it all slipping away, his purpose, his place, his identity. Then came the day they let him go. No grand send-off, no retirement party, just a 2-minute meeting and a security escort out the back. He walked away carrying a box of old tools and a pair of worn-out gloves. The new manager didn't even say goodbye. For the first time in decades, Raymond didn't know what to do. He woke up the next morning and stared at the ceiling, heart hollow, unsure of who he was without that garage. He wandered town aimlessly. People asked, "Ray, you okay?" He always nodded, but his eyes told a different story. The man who once saved others' engines now felt like one left to rust. But this isn't just a story of heartbreak. It's also a story of redemption. 1 week later, a teenager named Josh broke down on the highway. 17, broke, and scared out of his mind. His car was smoking, and he didn't know what to do. He walked 2 miles into town looking for help, and someone told him, "Go find Raymond Tucker. He might not be at the shop anymore, but he'll help." Josh knocked on Raymond's door just after sunset. Raymond answered in a flannel shirt, eyes tired but kind. He didn't hesitate. He grabbed his toolbox, jumped in his old truck, and followed the boy back to the car. They spent 2 hours under the stars fixing that engine, Josh holding the flashlight, Raymond guiding him gently. That night sparked something. Word got around. People started showing up at Raymond's doorstep, neighbors, old customers, folks who didn't trust the new shop. Raymond didn't have a business license, didn't charge much, but he helped everyone he could. And for the first time in months, he felt alive again. Then, something extraordinary happened. A local teacher who had once been one of Raymond's customers posted his story online, how a humble mechanic had given his life to a garage and been discarded like scrap. The post went viral. Thousands of people shared it, and within weeks, donations started pouring in. Former customers sent messages, local veterans pitched in, and even a few TV crews came knocking. With the money, the town helped Raymond open his own garage, Tucker's Honest Auto. No fancy lobby, no gimmicks. Just good work and good hearts. The opening day felt like a festival. Balloons, homemade banners, kids with greasy hands, and a small ribbon-cutting ceremony where Raymond stood speechless, his eyes full of tears he'd held in for years. Tucker's Honest Auto became more than a business. It became a symbol of how loyalty matters, of how the world still has space for decency, even when corporations forget, and of how one man's quiet strength can inspire a community to stand up for the values that matter. Years later, Raymond never bragged about the garage. He still worked the floor, still showed up early, still wiped his hands on that same old rag. But if you asked him what kept him going, he'd just smile and point to the old photo nailed above his workbench, Hank Weller, the original shop crew, and a much younger version of himself, arms crossed and proud. He didn't need awards. He didn't need headlines. He had something far greater, respect. Earned, not bought. Right finger if this story touched your heart, even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps these voices be heard, and these memories live on. Megaphone special request. Before you leave, drop a comment below. What does loyalty mean to you? Let's honor people like Raymond together.